A single quarter, yes, just 25 cents, could hold the key to an extraordinary fortune. That's right, a 1983 Washington quarter with a P mint mark might be worth up to $1.3 million in today's market. Think about it. In your pocket change, hidden in a drawer, or perhaps in a coin jar, a small treasure could be lying undiscovered. Well, keep watching. You're about to discover why this 1983 P Washington quarter stands out from millions of coins and how it could quite literally change your life. And more importantly, I'll reveal how you can recognize the difference between a standard quarter and a fortune. A dimly lit, dramatic shot of an old coin jar. Visual transitions to close-up details of the 1983 Washington quarter, focusing on the P mint mark. Now, what makes this coin so valuable? Why would anyone pay over $1 million for something most people use to buy a stick of gum? It all comes down to rarity and condition. The 1983 P Washington quarter is one of the rarest coins from that year, and collectors go to great lengths to find high-quality examples. Unlike other coins, these quarters were struck in limited numbers, with a higher likelihood of flaws due to imperfect minting. Most of these quarters were never intended to be preserved. Think of it as finding a vintage sports car that was parked in a garage and forgotten, its value skyrocketing over time due to its untouched condition. Now, here's where things get exciting. A specific error in the minting process could make this coin even more valuable. So what should you look for? Any visible mint errors, such as double dies, off-centering, or specific blemishes, could mean an additional fortune. But even in pristine, regular form, the coin is valuable simply due to its scarcity. If you own one of these in top-grade condition, that is, untouched, uncirculated, and showing no signs of wear, you're looking at a high-value collector's item. I know what you're thinking. But how am I supposed to tell if my quarter is worth a fortune or just a trip to the laundromat? Don't worry, I'll guide you through exactly what to look for step by step. By the end of this video, you'll know how to identify a $1 million coin from a regular quarter. Imagine the feeling of finding out that a coin you overlooked could be the golden ticket to the life you've always dreamed of. Slow, suspenseful close-up of someone holding the quarter, then the screen fills with visuals of luxury travel, high-end lifestyle images, and financial freedom. Now, here's where you come in. Grab that old jar of coins, search through your loose change, and don't stop until you've checked every quarter you have. It's easy to ignore the value right under our noses, but not you, not today. Because while most people will pass right by these quarters without a second thought, you'll know the secret. You'll know what others don't. And if you think finding one is hard, just imagine the reaction of those who find 2 or 3. Imagine finally trading up for that lifestyle you've envisioned, all from a single quarter in your possession. It's possible. But you've got to start looking now. Share this video with friends or family who might be sitting on their own hidden fortune. You never know whose life might change because of a single quarter. And remember, a wealthy lifestyle isn't just about money, it's about knowing where to find it. Closing visual, an elegant transition showing the quarter on display, followed by inspirational imagery of financial freedom, luxury travel, dream homes, and high-end experiences. Text on screen reads, "What's in your pocket?" Imagine a single coin, small enough to slip between couch cushions, valued today at over $1.6 million. You might be unknowingly sitting on a fortune, literally. This isn't just any coin, it's the 1965 Washington quarter without a mint mark, a coin that has skyrocketed in value, leaving collectors and investors in awe. Intrigued? Let's uncover what makes this quarter so valuable, how to identify if you have one, and why its value continues to climb. Now, you might be wondering, how can a simple quarter from 1965, a coin you might have once used to buy a soda, be worth over $1 million today? Well, the story starts with a bit of U.S. history. In the early 1960s, the United States was in the grip of a silver shortage. Coinage was affected, and by 1965, a crucial change happened. Washington quarters were switched from silver to a copper-nickel composition. However, here's the twist. Among these copper-nickel quarters, a few rare specimens were accidentally struck in 90% silver. Think about this. A small minting mistake from nearly 60 years ago has transformed a humble quarter into one of the rarest coins in U.S. history. Right about now, you're probably asking yourself, do I have one of these in my pocket, a forgotten drawer, or an old piggy bank? Now, before you go emptying every change jar in your house, let me explain what makes these silver quarters different from the rest. This brings us to the million-dollar question: what exactly makes these 1965 quarters so valuable? The answer lies in rarity and condition. You see, only a handful of these quarters were mistakenly minted in silver, and over the years, even fewer have survived in pristine condition. Collectors, and now even investors, have developed a keen interest, driving up the demand and, subsequently, the value. Let's pause for a second. How would your life change if you found one of these rare coins? Imagine turning a single, forgotten quarter into a life-altering asset. The excitement alone is enough to make your heart race, but it also brings urgency. These coins are only becoming harder to find, and their value continues to increase. So if you're lucky enough to find one, you could be holding on to a serious jackpot. But how can you tell if you've struck gold? Before we dive into the crucial identification details, let me ask you, what would you do with $1 million coin? Keep it as a family heirloom? Auction it for a quick profit? Think about that as we move into what makes this particular coin worth a fortune. Alright, now that you're mentally prepared, let's get into the specifics of identifying a true 1965 silver quarter. Look for two main factors: its weight and its edges. A regular 1965 quarter weighs 5.67 grams due to its copper-nickel composition. But the rare silver quarters weigh slightly more, about 6.25 grams. You can use a precision scale to check this. Secondly, inspect the coin's edges. Most modern quarters have a visible copper core sandwiched between two nickel layers. But a silver quarter? It has no copper-colored stripe. Now, here's where the market comes into play. Even a moderately worn silver 1965 quarter can sell for tens of thousands of dollars. But a pristine, uncirculated one? We're talking millions. Just last year, one such coin fetched a jaw-dropping $1.6 million at auction. That's more than many people's retirement savings, all in the value of a single coin. Now, before you go breaking out the magnifying glass and gloves, don't just start weighing every quarter you come across. Your local store cashier might not appreciate it. Now, you can see that coins like the 1965 silver Washington quarter are more than just currency. They're gateways to generational wealth, each one holding the potential to completely transform your financial future. There's a sense of adventure and excitement in searching for these coins, knowing that every quarter you hold might just be the one that changes everything. So, what's stopping you? Dive into that old coin jar, check under the couch cushions, or rummage through that forgotten drawer. You could be sitting on $1 million asset, just waiting to be discovered. Remember, time is ticking, and these rare coins are becoming harder to find with each passing year. Now, imagine the feeling, discovering a tiny piece of metal with the power to grant financial freedom. That's the true allure of coin collecting. Don't wait. Your $1 million discovery could be closer than you think. What if I told you that the humble 1994 P Mint Mark Washington quarter rattling around in your drawer could make you an overnight millionaire? Yes, a simple 25-cent coin worth over $1.2 million today. Imagine the financial freedom, the lifestyle upgrade, the vacations, the car you've always wanted, all thanks to a single coin. Sound crazy? Well, by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why the 1994 P Mint quarter has skyrocketed in value and why you need to check your pocket change right now. But hold on, it's not just any old 1994 quarter we're talking about. The $1 million price tag is for a rare version, and you could be holding it in your hands without even knowing it. We'll break down what makes this quarter so valuable, how you can identify the $1 million version, and, most importantly, what this discovery could mean for your financial future. So stick with me, because I promise by the end, you won't look at spare change the same way ever again. Alright, let's dive in. First off, what makes this 1994 P Mint Mark quarter so special? It's not just a date, not just a piece stamped on it, and definitely not just a stroke of luck. We're talking about a specific variety of the quarter, one with an extremely rare error. These coins are like hidden treasures that slip past the careful eyes of quality control at the Philadelphia Mint. And that's what creates the magic here: rarity, scarcity, and a thrilling error. You may be wondering, what's so special about a mistake? In the coin world, an error means unique, and unique means valuable. This rare version of the 1994 quarter boasts a striking error in the minting process, making it a collector's dream and a seller's jackpot. Quick quiz for you: if you found $1 million quarter, what would you do with it? Drop your answers in the comments below. I bet we'll see some wild dreams. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Unlike rare pennies or dimes, quarters are often overlooked in the rare coin world, which means fewer people are actively hunting for this one. For years, people have passed by the 1994 P quarters, tossing them into vending machines, giving them as change, or letting them collect dust in a drawer. Little did they know, that tiny coin could fund a dream home, send a kid to college, or even support a comfortable retirement. And before you think, "Hey, it's just a coin, what are the odds of me having one?" hold that thought. Because next, we'll walk through exactly what to look for in your 1994 P quarter, and I'll explain why you might be closer to striking gold than you think. Now, how do you spot the jackpot? Start by examining the coin's details closely. The most valuable 1994 P quarter shows a unique doubling on the coin's obverse, meaning you'll see slight shadows or doubled edges around Washington's profile and the lettering. This error is subtle, almost ghostly, easy to overlook unless you know what to look for. And I mean really look closely. Grab a magnifying glass if you have to, because this doubling is what transforms a 25-cent piece into a life-changing asset. But here's the kicker. Only a few hundred of these error quarters are believed to exist, and that's what creates the value. Rarity. Scarcity. You might have one in your pocket right now, unknowingly sitting on a fortune. Before you rush off to check, hear me out on what to do if you actually find one. The worst thing you can do is clean the coin. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but coin collectors value originality. Scratches or signs of cleaning can reduce its value drastically. Instead, keep it safe, protect it from damage, and get it authenticated by a professional. Now, what's more satisfying, finding a quarter worth $1 million or just the look on your friends' faces when you tell them? Tough choice, right? And let's not forget, this isn't just a one-off. There are more high-value coins out there. Have you ever heard of the 1970 quarter worth tens of thousands of dollars or the 1965 silver quarter that's still making waves? If this 1994 P quarter has your attention, wait until you hear about these other rare finds. So, if you've got a stash of coins tucked away, it's time to dig through them and see what treasures await. This 1994 P quarter is a reminder that sometimes, the most valuable things are right under our noses, hidden in plain sight, waiting for someone with the right knowledge to unlock their worth. Imagine waking up tomorrow and knowing that something as simple as a quarter has changed your life. This could be your ticket to that financial freedom you've dreamed of, your chance to live a wealthy, fulfilling lifestyle without even leaving your house. Imagine reaching into your pocket, pulling out an ordinary-looking quarter, and realizing it could be worth over $1 million. That's right, a simple 1991 P Washington quarter, the kind you probably haven't thought twice about, could be hiding a fortune. And today, I'm going to reveal why, how you can spot it, and why time is running out if you want to cash in. The 1991 P Washington quarter was minted without any fanfare. Just another quarter, right? Well, let me stop you right there because some of these quarters are anything but ordinary. In fact, one of them sold for a jaw-dropping $1.3 million, and there are others still circulating in pockets, drawers, or collections right now. But here's the kicker, most people don't even know they own one. And while it sounds like striking gold, it's also a double-edged sword. If you don't check your quarters carefully, you might be letting a small fortune slip right through your fingers. So, when's the last time you examined a quarter? And no, looking at George Washington's face while paying for a coffee doesn't count. But seriously, what makes the 1991 P quarter so unique? This specific minting from the Philadelphia Mint has become a coveted treasure for collectors due to a mix of factors, including unique metal compositions, mint errors, and stunning condition. These are rare qualities that even some of the savviest collectors overlook. And that's why the market value for this coin has skyrocketed to a point where a single quarter has outperformed some stocks. Now, stay with me, because in the next segment, we're going to cover exactly how you can identify if your coin is the real deal. But a quick heads up, don't start tossing your other coins just yet because there's a checklist coming up that you'll need to follow. Alright, so you've got that 1991 quarter in hand. But how do you know if it's worth $1 or $1 million? To be clear, not every 1991 p quarter is worth a fortune. So let's go over the 3 specific characteristics that set this quarter apart from the rest, starting with minting flaws. Certain quarters from 1991 p display minute, almost invisible errors in design that were never intended by the mint, and it's these small, unique imperfections that skyrocket their value. You'll want to keep an eye out for slight doubling on the lettering, an almost ghostly shadow effect around the word Liberty, or faint inconsistencies near the mint mark. And here's another key detail: the coin's condition. Collectors aren't just looking for a 1991 p with errors. They're seeking what's known as an uncirculated condition. That means no heavy scratches, no fading, no dents, nothing that would lower its appeal. Essentially, the more pristine it looks, the more valuable it becomes. So, does your quarter meet any of these? Take a moment to check. Wait. Now, before we move on, let me emphasize one thing: the value of this quarter is only growing, but the window to act is closing. With the rise in public interest, even everyday collectors are snapping these up fast, knowing their potential. And in a world where digital currency is becoming more popular, the demand for rare coins like this is heating up fast. Waiting too long might mean missing out on a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Alright, now you're probably wondering, if I've got this rare coin, what's the next step? How do I turn it into $1 million payday? First things first, you'll want to have your coin authenticated. There are professional coin grading services, like PCGS or NGC, that will officially assess and grade your coin's value. This validation is your ticket to getting top dollar for your rare quarter. Remember, without grading, it's just another coin, no matter how rare it may seem. Once you've got that certification in hand, it's time to consider where to sell. The best venues are high-end auction houses, dedicated numismatic websites, and rare coin auctions, all of which attract collectors willing to pay top dollar. And as we've seen with that $1.3 million sale, these collectors don't mess around. I'll say it again. The value of these coins isn't just in what they're worth today but in their future potential. Each year, coins like these become rarer and more valuable as they're bought up by collectors or disappear into private collections. If you've been dreaming of a moment that could change your financial future, this quarter might just be it. And if you're thinking, well, I'll just check back next year, I'll remind you that $1 million quarters aren't exactly growing on trees. So, there you have it, a roadmap to turning a 1991 p Washington quarter into potentially life-changing wealth. But remember, this is about more than just one coin. It's about knowing what to look for, how to act fast, and taking your piece of a collecting market that's exploding right now. So dig through those drawers, examine your quarters, and see if you've been sitting on $1 million treasure. Imagine reaching into your pocket, pulling out an old quarter, and discovering it's worth more than $1 million. A single Washington quarter, minted without a mint mark in 1972, could change your life. Yes, this tiny coin could bring you wealth beyond your wildest dreams. But here's the question: do you have one of these treasures hiding in plain sight? Let's take a moment to step back to 1972. The United States, still fresh off the space race, the Cold War tensions high, and amid all that, a quarter was minted with a tiny difference, a difference so subtle that it was overlooked by most. But here's the twist: this wasn't just any quarter. This 1972 Washington quarter without a mint mark is now one of the most sought-after coins by collectors around the world, and its value has skyrocketed to over $1.5 million. And here's where the mystery begins. Coins like these were never intended to be valuable. They were just spare change, coins used to buy groceries, fill parking meters, or tossed into coin jars at the end of the day. But as history would have it, Small anomalies or minting errors can turn these everyday items into hidden treasures. Have you ever found yourself going through your pocket change, thinking it was just junk, and tossed it aside? That decision might cost you a fortune, and here's why. What makes this quarter so unique, and why is its value climbing to over $1 million today? Let's dig into the mystery because this is where things get really interesting. The 1972 no-mint mark quarter is different because it was minted under highly unusual circumstances. Usually, quarters bear a mint mark indicating where they were produced. But in 1972, a number of quarters were produced without that mint mark, either due to an error or an oversight. This mistake means that while thousands of these coins were put into circulation, very few remain in pristine condition today. Most coins were scratched, dented, or worn down through years of daily use, losing value over time. But for those lucky few that escaped wear and tear? Well, that's where the big money is. And here's the kicker. As collectors' interest in rare coins has exploded in recent years, the value of these pristine 1972 no-mint mark quarters has surged. Not a modest jump, but a surge, taking a coin that once could barely buy a candy bar to a six-figure auction listing. Now, I know what you might be thinking. $1 million for a quarter? Sounds like something my grandpa would joke about. But I assure you, it's no joke. In fact, if you have one of these coins, you could be laughing all the way to the bank. But there's a catch. Not every 1972 no-mint mark quarter is worth millions. Only a few make the cut. So, how do you know if your quarter is the real deal, and could it be worth a life-changing sum? Alright, here's what you need to do if you think you might have this rare coin. The first step is examining its condition. A coin that's in what collectors call mint state condition will have no visible wear, clean and crisp detail, and look almost new. Take a look at the edges, the portrait of Washington. Any scuffs or dents could drop its value by hundreds of thousands. Once you've assessed the condition, you'll want to check for the absence of a mint mark. Typically, mint marks are found just below the portrait of George Washington. If there's no mark there, you may be in luck. But remember, finding a pristine 1972 no-mint mark quarter is only half the battle. Now, you've got to figure out where to sell it to get the most out of its value. And here's where the stakes rise because choosing the wrong buyer could mean losing out on thousands, even millions. So, let's talk strategy. Once you've confirmed the coin is in top-notch condition, the next step is all about where you sell it. Auction houses and specialized coin dealers are your best bet for reaching the right buyers. You want someone who understands the true value and rarity of this piece and will pay accordingly. Think of this. That 1972 no-mint mark quarter, the one you could own right now, could go for over $1 million at auction. But if you don't act fast, these rare coins will only get harder to find, and prices may rise even higher as demand outstrips supply. So, do you have what it takes to uncover the hidden value in your own collection? You might just be holding on to a fortune without even knowing it. If you think you've got one of these rare 1972 quarters, get it assessed, find a reputable dealer, and see if you've struck gold. This isn't just a piece of change, it's an opportunity for a life you've only dreamed about. Remember, fortunes are hidden in the smallest places. Don't let yours slip through your fingers.